That's the official word which I've received, that it is too large to come into the stadium. They couldn't get it through the gates, which is somewhat reminiscent of the times you and I have tried to get into small telecast booths.
Thank you very much, Mr. Whitaker. I think for the benefit of our Western viewers, we should note the fact there is a small discrepancy in the size of these two men mentioned. Mr. Whitaker's about 280, and I'm only a little old, about 195.
Well, we're all set to get started now with the second half of this Grey Cup final. And here to tell you about the third quarter is Ted Reynolds.
Right, Bing, it's Winnipeg at the south end of the field, and the Ticats at the north end to our left. They're in the lighter colored uniforms, Winnipeg in blue and gold. Jerry James and Leo Lewis are the deep men to receive the kickoff. Mixa does the kicking. The ball is picked up on the half volley at the 15-yard line. Back to the 30, 35, 40. Lewis tries to get away and is finally hauled down at the Hamilton Tiger Cat 53-yard line by Billy Graham. A desperation shoestring tackle, a tremendous run back by Leo Lewis. He brought that ball back 47 yards, and by the looks of things, Bud Grant's tongue has not been idle. Somebody yelled up to us that they had seen Grant, and he was firing his team up. Well, this could be the case. We'll see now. First offensive play of the second half, 13-0 Hamilton. The handoff across on that far side of number 93, Nick Miller, and Miller gets across the line of scrimmage. The ball is placed on the 51-yard line of the Ticats, where it's second down and 8. Eddie Macon, number 90, who has made a lot of tackles for Winnipeg so far this afternoon, made that for Hamilton rather, made that one. Straight double fullback formation. It's second down. The lights are on at Varsity Stadium. Plane going back to throw to Gilliam. Has he got it? Yes! A beautiful diving catch by Gilliam, who was dropped in his tracks by Goldston. And you may see, a first down, you may see Plane throwing a lot more to Gilliam. He did not have too much luck with Ernie Pitts in the first half. 9 for 15. Passing, that is. Straight double fullback formation. No split ends, no flankers. Lewis following good blocking on that far side. Across the 35, 34, 33-yard line before he is nailed over there by Dave Szyminski. They're looking at that one. It's going to be a gain of about 8. Second down, 2 yards to go. Substitution coming in for Hamilton is Decker, number 75, replacing number 66, Jack Davis. Second down. This is a big down for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. There's the pitch on this side. Jerry James, 30, 25, 20, and James is upended after rolling to the 20. Harry Lampton took the feet out from under him. He rolled forward. The ball is put at the 21-yard line. And the Winnipeg Blue Bombers are out there breathing fire right at the moment. Plane calls those signals. First down and 10. Lewis in motion. Again, the handoff is to Nick Miller. There is a marker on the play. Hamilton offside, methinks. Yes, Hamilton is offside. That is an old Western expression meaning I think so. A 5-yard penalty marked off against the Hamilton Ticats, who are the most penalized team. It's first down, 5 yards to go, and the Bombers are threatening seriously here early in the third quarter. Pitch on this side, Jerry James. James is down. He tries to crawl an extra yard. He was hit by Tony Cursillo. Diving tackle that took the feet out from James when he had a bit of a hole to run to. James goes for a gain of 3. It's second down, 2 yards to go. 13-0. The Hamilton Tiger Cats leading. Third quarter just underway. Double fullback formation. Kenny Plane calls those signals. Again, Lewis is in motion. Hand off to Miller. Miller moves to the 10, is thrown back. We'll have to wait and see the forward progress of the ball. Vince Scott, who was our bulwark for Hamilton in the first half, was the first man in on that stop. The Husky veteran middle guard. The sticks are coming in. The snow that started late in the second quarter has abated. There's a bit of a wisp, but the skies seem to be lightening again. Mind you, the lights are on here, and of course the colorful picture is even enhanced by that at Varsity Stadium. Oh, not very much there. It's short by about the length of the football, 8 inches. Here's a big one. Hamilton digging in. Third down, 8 inches to go for a first down. They're 12 yards away from pay dirt. They trail 13-0. Lewis flanks to the left. James and Miller right behind the quarterback. Plane up over that ball. Hamilton defensive line is packed. Pitch on this side. James across the 10. And he fumbles. Hamilton recovery. The Hamilton Tiger Cats take over the ball. First and 10 at their own 5-yard line. Bobble, who so far has been the real hero of this piece for Hamilton. There he is, number 72, Ray Bobble. He's the man you'll recall early in the game who recovered the fumble in the air and romped 47 yards for the initial score of the game, and he made a brilliant recovery there, probably saving 6 points at least for his club. James was going for certain, had a first down. It's on the 4-yard line. It's Hamilton Tiger Cats, first and 10. Elton Taylor, the left corner linebacker, is roaming around. He's number 94. Maloney's handoff is to Cookie Gilchrist, and Gilchrist dives across the Winnipeg right tackle before being stopped by Roger Savoy. A gain of 4 at second down and 6 yards to go. Johnny Michaels, the left inside linebacker, he dropped back from defensive end to linebacker, of course, with Mangum out of there, was also in on the stop. Second and 6. Gilchrist gets across the 10-yard line, and it will be third down, a kicking situation, still 4 yards to go, and the Hamilton kicking team moves in. For the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, they drop their deep men back to their own 50. Roger Savoy made the stop again that time. Ticats break their huddle. Cam Fraser stands 2 yards into his own end zone. Receivers are Ron Latterell and Gordy Rowland at their own 50-yard line. Fraser puts the foot to it. It comes down on this side to midfield. Latterell is hit immediately and brought down for little or no return. Billy Graham made the tackle. It's Hamilton's kick, Winnipeg's ball. This game is coming to you from Varsity Stadium. .44-yard kick that time. Well, Winnipeg made Hamilton kick. Now they have it first and 10 at midfield. The ball is being scrimmaged from the 53. Pitch to Jerry James. James across the 50 into the 47-yard line, 48-yard line of the Ticats. Second down and 5 to go. Harry Lampman, number 73, along with Eddie Macon, number 90, made the stop. Tremendously colorful sight here at Varsity Stadium. Football celebrities and celebrities of all other sorts from all over Canada, of course, are here. There's the handoff to Lewis, who was upended without a bit of a gain by Tony Cursillo. He lost a yard on the play. Cursillo knifed in there beautifully. And remember, immediately following the game and the wrap-up from up here, downstairs, Larry O'Brien will have the coaches of both these clubs, along with the star players from both sides in this 57 Grey Cup game. The Winnipeg kicker is standing just outside his own 45-yard line. Vincent moves to the 50, gets a kick to the far side, a wobbler, it's fumbled! Let's see, oh, they're all over the place. A penalty for no yard, much to the disgust there of Stav Kanakis. Howell was the man who never did have the ball. He laid his fingers on it but fumbled it. No yards penalty against the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. That is the first we have had of that description this afternoon. So the ball is moved out to the 39. It's a 15-yard penalty. So the Ticats take over 1st and 10. The ball is actually right between their own 39 and 40-yard lines. We'll call it the 40-yard line, 1st and 10 there. Poloni sends flankers right and left. Poloni dropping back to throw. The rush is on him. He's spared back at the 30-yard line. There is a Winnipeg Blue Bombers shaken up on the play, and that's the first time at all this afternoon. And it's amazing because it's been such a tremendously hard-knocking game that play has had to be held up because anybody was shaken up. This player's got the wind knocked out of him, and the trainer hops out there in the field, Jimmy Osley. It is Walt Balicki, number 47. Homegrown inside linebacker. Played with the Winnipeg Rods. 195-pound, 5'10" homegrown Winnipeg player. He's up on his feet. He was just winded. He is being replaced. There he comes off the field now. Balicki had made the stop. 2nd down and 19 yards to go. A loss of almost 10 yards that time. As for the first time with any real authority, Winnipeg got to Bernie Poloni. Poloni's handoff is to Grant. Grant gets good blocking. Grant still going, dives, puts his head down, rolls to the 42-yard line. First down for the Hamilton Tiger Cats, I think. Correction, we were looking at the wrong end of the spike. He got back the 10 yards that they had lost and 2 more, but it's 3rd down and 9 to go. First down would have taken them to the 50, so it's a kicking situation. Hal Whitley finally made the stop that time. Latterell and Rowland drop back. There they are at their own 20-yard line. Fraser from just outside the 25 gets it away. This is a pretty good boot. Coming down to Latterell. Latterell gets across the 20 to the 23. Hit by Billy Graham, number 83. 50-yard kick by Fraser. Marker on the play back at the discussion is back at the 45. Bringing it back. Illegal interference are called for the 2nd time against the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Against Winnipeg, rather. So it gives Hamilton a first down at their own 45-yard line. Hamilton retaining possession of the ball, have it 1st and 10. Eight minutes and 20 seconds remaining in this 3rd quarter. Still 13-0 as Cookie Gilchrist spins but can't get away from Al Whitley, number 45, who drops him at the 46. Whitley, a very starry inside linebacker for Winnipeg, particularly so in the great series against Edmonton. Don't forget, Larry O'Brien will bring you the stars of this game along with coaches Trimble and Grant. At the conclusion of the contest, flankers right and left. Poloni uses his swingman. He can't get it. Oh, a little bit of roughing goes on down there. Ball was grabbed by number 62, Roger Savoy, and Gilchrist, or rather McDougall, being a little bit miffed at not being able to hang on to that football. So it's 3rd down, 7 yards to go for Hamilton at their own 47-yard line. Cam Fraser drops back to kick from his own 34. Deep men are Gordy Rowland on Ron Latterell, standing outside their own 15-yard line. Fraser puts one up pretty high. It's going to Rowland on the far side. He's back to the 25 and gets no farther. 1, 2, 3, 4 Hamilton players descend on Mr. Rowland. 43-yard kick for Cam Fraser. Ralph Toohey, number 77, was the first man down. Winnipeg 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. Hamilton defensive team going into the field. Kenny Plain leads the Bomber attackers out there. Well, they got down inside the 10 early on their first drive in this third quarter. They came into it trailing 13-0. A fumble cost them the ball. Now they have a long way to go against a tremendously strong defensive team. Pitch to Jerry James. James gets underneath one tackler and dives forward to the 29-yard line. He was finally stopped by Jim Hughes and Ralph Golston. Jerry gets to his feet. It was Hughes, who number 45, walking by them. There's the Hamilton defense. And it's been a tremendous force in this game so far. Second down, 5 yards to go. Kenny Plain calls those signals, fakes the pitch, hands to James, and he dives, whirls like a whirling dervish, rolled across the 35. It was not James, it was Lewis darting out of the left half spot. He rolled over about 4 times. His forward progress was ruled to have been to the 34.5-yard line. It's third down and less than a foot to go. That was the Lincoln locomotive really rolling. Straight double fullback formation. Kenny Plain on the sneak. He's got what looks like plenty enough for the first down as he gets about 3 yards. Yes, first down, says referee Paul Dojak for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. 6.5 minutes. A little less than 6.5 remaining. Michaels led the way there for Kenny Plain. Fullback, double fullback formation once more. No flankers. Now he pits out 1 yard. Lewis again. Lewis cuts in and gets back to the line of scrimmage no more. He might have got 1 yard on the play. Substitutions are becoming a little more frequent than they were in the first half of the game. Vince Scott once more along with Tony Cursillo. Piper has gone in place of Michaels at the inside linebacker spot. Kenny Plain calling those signals. 2nd and 8 yards to go. Plain is going back to throw. The rush is on him. He finally gets that ball away. No good. Almost complete. It was meant for Mendick out there at the 54-yard line of the Ticats. But Eddie Macon, number 90, was covering him very efficiently. Third down, 8 yards to go for the Blue Bombers, who trail 13-0. And they are sending Jerry Vincent in to do the kicking once more. Charlie Shepard started the game kicking, but has not been back in there since early in the second quarter. Howell and Fedosov are standing at their own 35. Vincent had to get that one away very quickly. It bounced. Did it roll out? No, it didn't. It's still in play. And Fedosov is pulled down and pushed out of bounds at the 30-yard line where it's Hamilton 1st and 10. This is your Grey Cup football telecast. That was Ronnie Howell who actually got the ball finally. It came to Fedosov, who perhaps, and rightly so, might have thought it was going out of bounds, and it cut back into Howell. Now it's Hamilton 1st and 10. Filoni calling those signals. Gives it to McDougald. McDougald got up for about 3, and then Hal Whittley leading the charge. The Bombers pushed him back. Forward progress. It's about 4 yards. It's 2nd and 6. Michaels and Whittley, a lot of them were in on that one. Michaely's big number 50. McDougald got the ball then for the first time in this half, and he led the ground gainers in the Big Four in the 1957 season. Flankers left and right. Filoni going back to pass. Good protection. Throws it. It's short by about 2 yards. Then for Grant down at the 40-yard line. marker on the play. Maloney is now only 3 for 12 in completions. Hamilton leading by a score of 13-0 with 4 minutes remaining in the third quarter. So we're having an official consultation out there between referee Paul Dojak, and everybody's in on this one. Clipping penalty is called against the Hamilton Tiger Cats, declined by the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. The signal from the referee. So the down is number 3. It's third down and 6 yards to go, and Cam Fraser stands at his own 21. Deep men are Latterell and Rowland back at their own 30. Fraser gets that kick away, and he lifted that one. Oh, murdered it. He kicked that ball. Rowland right back to the 10 before he gets it. Rowland gets across the 20 down to about the 23-yard line. Cam Fraser kicked that ball 63 yards. Jim Hughes, number 45. All 6'4" and 220 pounds of them came down to stop Rowland.
Ted, let me break in for just a moment here to remind our fans again that after the game, Larry O'Brien's post-game show will feature Don Downey, the president of the CRU, presenting the Grey Cup to the winning team, plus many other stars and coaches.
Winnipeg, first and 10. Their own 22-yard line. They trail 13-0 late in the third quarter. He fakes the pitch out. Handoff is to Mendick, and Mendick trying to move across the left side of that Hamilton line. Stopped by Tony Cursillo. Gain of 2. It's 2nd and 8. P.W. Underwood, number 60, was also there. It's one of the few times in this game Mendick has gone inside. Bombers have not been able to move this Hamilton defense with any kind of regularity whatsoever. Plain dropping back to throw, now rolling to the right. Pat being chased, gets across the 25, 30. He's finally upended. Decker was in hot pursuit. Macon came up to get him. Kenny Plain is down. I do not know whether he's just been shaken up or whether he has been injured. We can't see him yet. Looks like he's injured a leg, whether it's his right or his left, I don't know. 3 minutes remaining in this quarter. We'll have to wait and see. Trainer is out there. Plain rolled over onto his left side. It's very difficult to tell just the extent of the injury, of course. But it could be his left knee. That is just a guess on our part. We'll have to wait and see. They have him on his back now. And that, of course, would be quite a blow to Bud Grant's Bombers.
There's a pretty good point that comes up here, Ted, in connection with the fact that many fans wonder why stretchers are not sent out onto the field immediately when a player is injured. The well-known men in black and white uniforms of the St. John Ambulance Corps always stand by at the big football games, of course, but they may not go on the field until the referee so signals. And in this case, as you can see, Kenny Plain is coming off, unfortunately, not under his own steam, but with the assistance of Dennis Mendick and the Winnipeg trainer.
Okay, Steve. Well, if he is forced to retire from the game, a young Canadian named Barry Roseborough, Winnipeg native, would move in. It's third down and 2 yards to go for the Bombers at their own 31. Great hand here for this gallant kid. Kenny Plain's left knee, and he is coming off very, very slowly. Jerry Vincent on third down drops back inside his own 20-yard line to do the kicking. Hamilton leading 13-0. Vincent puts it in the air. He gets away a pretty good kick, heading for those far sidelines. Fedosov grabs it, turns. He started to go the wrong way for a minute. Finally thought, I better wheel around and get going forward, and he did. The ball is down at the 38-yard line. 1st and 10 there, Hamilton. This game is coming to you from Varsity Stadium. Kenny Plain, after coming from the field, went immediately to the dressing room. There was no question of even trying to work on him on the bench. Young Barry Roseborough instantly wears number 88 and will no doubt be in offensively next time they get the ball. Has been warming up. Now it's Hamilton 1st and 10. Filoni gives it to Grant. Grant finds a little running room, gets across the 40 to the 41-yard line before he was hit very hard by John Michaels, number 50, whose defensive play has been pretty well faultless for Winnipeg. He has played a sound game so far for them defensively. But you can't win football games, even though a couple of teams in the West tried awfully hard last week, without scoring some points. And this Bomber team has not been able to dent the Hamilton armor yet. Filoni's handoff to Cookie Gilchrist. Gilchrist drives forward. Cookie didn't go down after all the tacklers and the blockers did. He found himself in clear ground. He was stopped by Gordy Rowland and Hal Whitley, but the whistle, of course, had gone. So it's 3rd down for the Hamilton Tiger Cats, just inside their own 45. 3rd and 3 yards to go after a gain of 3 at their own 44. A minute and 30 seconds unofficially remaining in the 3rd quarter. 13-0 for the Ticats. Cam Fraser stands at his own 31. Latterell and Rowland are the deep man. The kick is very, very high up above the lights. Rowland lets it bounce. Latterell lets Rowland pick it up. And Rowland was hit immediately inside his own 5-yard line by Billy Graham, who came down there like a real avenging warrior. A 61-yard kick. His last one was 63, so he tailed off a bit, but he kicked that ball up above the lights. I don't know how high those light standards are, but they look about 110 feet to me. Apparently the worst thing that could happen for a team playing Hamilton is to have Fraser make one bad kick, because he'll come down and kick the thing right out of sight the next time. Barry Roseborough, number 88, a Canadian quarterback, is calling the signals for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Direct handoff, and moving forward across the 5 to about the 6-yard line, Jerry James gets about 4 at 2nd and 6. Pete Newman, number 74, made the tackle. Minute flag will be going up any second. Minute flag has gone up any second. There it is. 2nd and 6. Barry Roseborough at quarterback. Roseborough gives to Mendick after a nice fake. Mendick gets across the 10-yard line and is snowed under down there. Notice that Winnipeg, with numbers on their helmets, it helps considerably in picking them out. Ralph Goltz, number 88, made the stop. Tony Cursillo. 3rd down, 2 yards to go. Deep in their own territory, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers send in Jerry Vincent to do the kicking. There are the Hamilton defenders getting ready. As the Bombers huddle inside their own 5-yard line, the flag is flying. The Hamilton deep men are inside the Winnipeg 45 as Vincent puts one very high in the air. Lots of Bombers down on it. Grabbed by Howell, and Howell is snowed under immediately after getting back about 3 yards. A 26-yard kick. It was far higher than it was long. And the ball is at the 32-yard line, where the Ticats have it 1st and 10. With the flag about to go down to end the 3rd quarter. 13-0 for Hamilton. Bernie Filoni is at the helm. Flankers, 2 of them wide out to the left. Filoni's handoff is to Cookie Gilchrist, and Gilchrist, as the gun ends the 3rd quarter, moves forward for a gain of about 3. Hamilton will have possession of the ball when the last quarter gets underway. This is your coast-to-coast Grey Cup football telecast.
This could be your town this winter. A bad day for driving, unless you have custom Suburbanites by Goodyear on your car. Let's follow this taxi and watch Suburbanites take the worry out of winter driving. On hard-packed snow, Suburbanites give sure-footed traction, boost you up hills ahead of the snowplow, tackle snow-clogged driveways without a worry. Get you there and back over the worst winter roads without slipping, skidding, or fishtailing. See how suburbanites go to work? They dig into hard-packed snow and build up blocks of snow to push against. Over 5,500 hard-biting edges give you up to 55% more traction than ever before. Make this your safest winter of driving ever. With new custom Suburbanites by Goodyear on your car, you'll take any road, slick ice, loose-packed snow, or spring mud. See your Goodyear dealer now for custom Suburbanites by Goodyear.
Hamilton threatening as the final quarter of a hard-knocking game gets underway. To tell you how far this threat goes, Steve Douglas.
All right, Ted, the ball is on the Winnipeg 27-yard line, about 20 yards in from the far eastern sidelines here at Varsity Stadium, Toronto. The Ticats are in front 13-0, 15 minutes remaining to play. It is second down and roughly 6 yards to go. Bernie Filoni at quarterback for the Ticats sends a couple of flankers out toward these sidelines. Grant and Graham. Fast handoff to McDougall. Fast breakthrough. He may go all the way. He's into the end zone. Keith Pierce had hold of McDougall, but just couldn't contain him, as Jerry, who was the Big Four's leading ground gainer during the regular 57 season, wasn't to be denied on that one. He's carried 8 times this afternoon and picked up 62 yards. Honest Chuck will try the conversion. Ray Truant will hold. High pass instead of the second time this has happened. Well, let's have a little game of kick the football around the gridiron here. It is all wiped out, of course. And the second consecutive time that the Ticats have had a conversion attempt go by the boards because of a high pass from center. So the count is 19-0, Hamilton over Winnipeg. 14 minutes and 40 seconds left to go. And the Blue Bombers quarterback, Kenny Plain, has come back from the dressing room to take his place on the Bombers bench directly beneath us. Plain is moving around, trying to unlimber that left knee that undoubtedly has been well doctored, as Cookie Gilchrist gets set to kick off for the Hamilton Ticats. Single man back is Leo Lewis, but the kick bounces over to the far sidelines. Taken there by Keith Pierce, and he is snowed under on the 33-yard line. And Billy Graham, a little guy who goes about 165 pounds, soaking wet, was bumping around with Big Hall Whitley of the Blue Bombers at midfield, and Whitley's just 225, that's all. Kick traveled only 32 yards, and the Bombers have it first and 10 on their own 33-yard line. It's 20 yards in from the far side stripe. Barry Roseborough is quarterbacking, and the ball is loose and recovered by the Hamilton Ticats. Jerry James, the second time he has lost control of the ball. Not quite as strategic a spot as the first occasion when he lost it right in the shadow of the Hamilton goal line when the Bombers were definitely on the move. But the Ticats came up with the loose football, and they've taken over again. Johnny Barrow, first-year import from the University of Florida, is the man who put the grab on the loose football. The Bombers have now fumbled 4 times and lost it on every occasion. Hamilton ball, first and 10 from the 28-yard line. Cookie Gilchrist coming this way, met far behind the line of scrimmage, knocks off the first tackler, and moves on up until he is finally brought down to earth on the 27-yard line. Steve Patrick and Gordy Rowland. Patrick hit him first, couldn't hang on. Rowland finally made the stop on him. Graham flanks to the far sidelines for the Ticats. Maloney bootlegs. He's got it. Gets the pass into the air. And it is no good. Intended for Harry Lampman. He was checked very closely by Winnipeg's Jerry Vincent.
Maloney's pass intended for Lampman goes incomplete.
Maloney, 3 passes completed out of 13 attempts today. But remember, insofar as the Ticats' total of 13 or 19 points is concerned, he has directed the attack on each of the touchdowns and scored the second one himself. A field goal attempt is coming up. Steve Onischuk will boot from the 35-yard line. Down in the air. No good, to the right of the right upright, and brought out at least 3 or 4 yards by Ronnie Latterell of Winnipeg. And the Bombers take over 1st and 10 from their own 4-yard line. That is the first field goal attempt of the afternoon. Small amount of wind is springing up, nothing to bother the play to any great degree, but it was from the northwest and pretty much into Onischuk's attempt. Kenny Plain has gone back in to direct the Bombers' attack. They are trailing by 19-0, 13 minutes and 5 seconds unofficially left to go. Hamilton got 2 touchdowns in the first quarter and then picked up the other one just a short time ago. Officials have moved the ball away from in front of the goalposts. Bombers put it in play, 1st and 10 from their own quarterback. Hands off to Leo Lewis, who tries the left side of the line and reaches the 9 before his forward progress is stopped there. Pick up on the play is 5 yards, 2nd down and 5 to go. Vinny Scott once again is the number 1 man on the stop for the Hamilton Ticats, but that isn't unusual. He's been in there most of the afternoon. Plain pitches out to Lewis, who may be trapped back of the line and gets away from Pete Newman, spins into the arms of 3 or 4 more tacklers from the Ticats. Newman came back to help out, had assistance from Eddie Macon, number 90, and Ralph Goldston, number 88. So a kicking situation comes up with Howell and Fedosov going out for the Ticats to take up position somewhere near midfield. And Jerry Vincent will do the kicking. 82 is Howell, at the top of your screen, Fedosov. Vincent stands at the Winnipeg Blue Bombers goal line. Low pass. Gets away a pretty nice hoist. Fedosov at the 53, slipped a bit, turned around and is nailed and goes down, and Ticats put it in play. 1st and 10 from Winnipeg's 54-yard line. This game coming to you from Varsity Stadium. 42-yard kick by Jerry Vincent. Ticats ball 1st and 10 on the Winnipeg 53-yard line. You motorists, remember that next week is Safe Driving Week, so do drive carefully and make safe driving a year-round habit. Graham is a wide flanker on this side. Tommy Grant is out as well. Ticats ball 1st and 10. Gilchrist breaking through. And he's very close to a 1st down. He's got roughly 9 yards, but there's a marker on the play. It is interference. Illegal interference against the Hamilton Ticats moves the ball back to their own 47-yard line. Paul Dojak from Regina is the referee. The umpires today, John Monroe of Toronto, Bill Nairn of Winnipeg, Norm Maxwell of Hamilton, field judge Tommy Daly of Ottawa, and the headlinesman Taylor Patterson from Regina, and all 6 gentlemen have done an outstanding job today. Jerry McDougall tries the right side, cuts back as he hits the end, and comes up very close to midfield. He may be a yard over it, and that's close to a 1st down. He is stopped by Keith Pierce. That is not close to a first down. It is close to the other end of the yardsticks once again. The original loss is just about made up, lacking 1 yard, so it is second down and 11. A little under 11 minutes left to go. 19-0, Hamilton. 57 Grey Cup from Varsity Stadium, Toronto. Filoni throwing in the flat to McDougall, who cuts back, and he doesn't get up to yardage sufficient for a first down. He's hit down on the Winnipeg 50-yard line with Paul Whitley, number 1 man on the tackle. So it is third down and roughly 7 to go. Cam Fraser and his kicking contingent going on the field for Hamilton. Latterell and Roland are deep for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Latterell number 87 and Roland number 97. That is Roland, and that's Fraser. Booting a wobbler that Latterell takes at the 17-yard line. That looked like a tug of war in reverse. It was little Billy Graham again. That little guy is down mighty fast, number 83 there, just running out of our picture. 33 yards, that one. Fraser has hoofed a couple today, over 60, 61 and 63. He had one bad one of 19 yards. That must have made him mad. Bombers ball, first and 10 from their 22-yard line. Playing is at quarterback. He is back to throw. He does down the middle and complete to Pitts. Pitts laterals to Jerry James, who couldn't hang on to the ball. Wait a minute now. It was recovered for the Ticats by Paul Decker, and will go as a fumble by Jerry James and a Hamilton recovery, making it 5 for 5 on the wrong side of the ledger for Winnipeg. Paul Decker, who has been playing more defensive end today than he has been used to during the regular season, got that one. Filoni bootlegs, looks, throws deep, complete to Gilchrist at the 20-yard line. He's nailed immediately by Roland. It is a first down for the Ticats, who are on the move deep in Winnipeg territory again. Hamilton leads by 19-0. 9 minutes, 48 seconds unofficially left to go. Graham flanks to the right. Grant on this side. Handoff is to McDougall. He's still on his feet and still going. Well, that's almost impossible to believe, because at least half a dozen Blue Bombers had a piece of him. But he's down there very close to a first down, and the man who finally had to get him was Gordy Roland, the right corner linebacker, who dropped back for the move. First down for the Ticats. And the ball is inside the 10-yard line, so it is first down and goal to go. Two flankers out to the right. Gilchrist, the ball carrier. He keeps driving down to the 4-yard line. The first man to hit him for the Blue Bombers was number 73, Cease Luning, and Hall Whitley completed the stop. His gain is roughly 5. The ball just inside the 5-yard line. Second and goal to go, less than 5 yards away. The fumbles this afternoon have been very disastrous to the Blue Bombers up to this point. Cookie Gilchrist, a beautiful piece of fakery by quarterback Bernie Filoni. And Cookie didn't crumble. He went right on through. At the 33 yards, the Ticats moved for the touchdown, their 4th of the afternoon. And on each occasion, after recovering a fumble, the Ticats have moved down for a TD. Here is Honest Chuck's attempt at the conversion. Truant will hold it. It is blocked. Paul Whitley, number 45 of the Blue Bombers, made the block. So the score is the Hamilton Ticats 25, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers nothing. And this is your Grey Cup football telecast. Spotter Hal Walker has the glasses trained on the injured member of the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Out on the field appears to be Herb Gray, their fine guard from the University of Texas in his second year with the club. Left guard offensively and left end defensively. The score here in this Grey Cup game is 25-0 for the Hamilton Ticats, which at this moment at least makes Hamilton coach Jim Trimble look pretty good. He said about 3 or 4 days ago he thought the winning club would score 4 touchdowns. The losing club might score 2. Needless to say, it is to be presumed Mr. Trimble figured his own ball club would win. It was Herb Gray, and he is coming off the field under his own steam. There he is. He, incidentally, was a teammate at the University of Texas of the outstanding Toronto Argonaut end, Big Men and Schriever. Lewis and James are the Bombers' deep men. Not too deep at their own 21-yard line as the wind is springing up. Cookie kicks a flat ball down to Lewis at the 23. Toohey was in for a diving tackle that knocked him off stride, and Grant comes in to make the stop on him. Ralph Toohey, as usual, talking things up. 8 minutes and 21 seconds remaining. 25-0. The Ticats over the yard line. The last time these clubs met in Grey Cup competition was back in 1953, and the Ticats won that one, a real thriller, by 12-6, when Lou Cussero switched off his defensive assignment in the end zone and rammed into Tom Casey just as Casey took a pass from Indian Jack Jacobs. Cookie having a little trouble adjusting himself. The deep men for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers have now moved up to the vicinity of the 25 and 30-yard lines. James and Lewis are the two who are way back. Cookie's kick is high, goes Keith Pierce in the 43. He drops it. Picked up by Lewis. He's at the 40, and down he goes. Eddie Bevan, number 1 man in there for the Hamilton Ticats. And the Bombers are having their troubles hanging on to the football. 5 fumbles and 5 lost. That one dropped but recovered. 1st and 10 for Winnipeg on their own 40-yard line, 15 yards in from the far sidelines. Playing his quarterbacking again. Pulls straight back to throw. Short pass right over the center, and man, was he ever upended. Completion to Frank Gilliam. He was hit around the ankles and around the knees at the same time. Went flying through the air, but he did get his first down at the 51. Jimmy Hughes from Queens, rookie with the Ticats, is the man who stopped him. Don't forget to be with us after the game for Larry O'Brien's special interviews of players, coaches, and officials. Plain pulls straight back, throws out intended for Pitts. He gets the ball, and he is grabbed at the same moment. Ray Bobble and Ralph Goldston right in there. Johnny on the spot for Hamilton. This time it is not sufficient for a first down, but the pickup on the play is 8 yards. It is second and just about 2 to go. Tony Casillo calling defensive signals, and he is a defensive quarterback actually and does a fine job for Hamilton. He's number 99. Pitch out is to Jerry James, going around left end. He comes down and slips to earth at the 48-yard line. Man holding him down is that same Casillo. This is a first down for the Bombers, however, to the Ticats, call it the 47-yard line. Keith Pierce is going in for Winnipeg, and coming out, Frank Gilliam at left end offensively. 6.5 minutes remaining in the ball game. Ticats 25, Blue Bombers 0. Mendick is the flanker way out on this side. Plain goes back. He is definitely favoring his left knee. Long pass intended for Mendick over his head, making the man guarding for Hamilton. Plain, as he moves back from the quarterback spot directly behind the center, definitely is limping. His left knee was racked up about 10 minutes ago. He went to the dressing room, but has come back and is still in at quarterback. Roseborough played just a couple of sequences. 11 for 20 is the Winnipeg pass pattern at the moment. Second down and 10 yards to go on the Ticat 47, Winnipeg possession. Plain pulls back, Newman chasing him. He throws down the middle, intended for Pitts, incomplete. And Keith Pierce was cutting in deeper too, but he couldn't reach the football either. Newman, who was in trying to get quarterback Plain on that play, shook himself up, and he's down on the field. Right at midfield, the right defensive end for the Hamilton Ticats, an all-star every year here in the East at that position. Incidentally, many of you will want to see more of some of these ball players in action, and you can do so at the annual East-West All-Star Shrine Game in Montreal a week from today. Pete Newman up and shaking his head as he starts to walk off the field, assisted by two members of the Ticat training staff. Jerry Vincent standing at the Winnipeg Blue Bomber 50-yard line. Howell and Fedosov at the 5 for Hamilton. This is a fake. He throws a pass intended for Pitts. Intercepted by Ray Bubble, who may go all the way again. He's going to be cut off near the sideline. He was tripped by a man standing in front of the Winnipeg bench, and Bobble has come back to the Winnipeg bench, and he is boiling, and no wonder. All right, we'll see what the call is going to be on this one now. Everybody hang on to your hats. It will all be straightened out. Jim Trimble, the Hamilton Ticat coach, rushed up. Actually, Bobble probably would not have gone the distance because Big Bob Hobart, the right tackle, was cutting him off at a very sharp angle. And we certainly will keep our eyes on the officials on the field here for the call on this one. Bobble, an unauthorized person interfering with a player while play is in progress is the rule. There are scattered boos from the crowd of roughly 28,000 here at Varsity Stadium, probably from Western supporters, but somebody who probably shall go mercifully unidentified did stick a foot out right down at the sidelines directly in front of the Winnipeg bench, and that's what bobbled up the play. Jerry McDougall, the ball carrier, cutting back and dragged down from behind by Roger Savoy. Paul Whitley coming along to help out Savoy on the tackle. Savoy 62, Whitley 45. Ticats ball, second down and 5 yards to go on the 16-yard line. Graham flank to the right. Poloni hands off to Gilchrist coming this way. He's still on his feet and he may go into the end zone. He does. "22 yards in 2 plays. Cookie Gilchrist, second TD of the afternoon. And the boy who has oft-times been called the problem child of the Big Four is doing a pretty good job here today. He was the second man in the ground gaining department behind teammate Jerry McDougall. And it is good. Hamilton leads Winnipeg. This game is coming to you from Varsity Stadium. Cookie Gilchrist, who got his second touchdown on that effort, has covered 68 yards in 15 carries this afternoon. He and doing a pretty fair job. There is the 5-minute signal from the field. 5 minutes to the end of regulation time. You must say that the Ticats have been capitalizing on their opportunities. On 4 occasions after fumbles, they moved for touchdowns, and on Bobbles' interception, his second of the day, he moved down and set up the stage for the 5th Hamilton TD. Here's the kickoff. Chet Mixa hoofs it down to Lewis at the 15, 20, 25, coming this way at the 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, down on the 53-yard line finally. Jack Davis knocked him off his feet, and Billy Graham completed the stop. Latterell, replacing Leo Lewis, is a product of that fine junior team, the Rods out in Winnipeg. Fingers latched onto it and wouldn't give it up. The Bombers are knocking again to see if they can get that 0 off the scoreboard. Little under 4 minutes left. 1st and 10, Winnipeg on the Hamilton 15-yard line. Latterell flanks left. Roseboro back to throw. He is nailed, gets the ball away, complete to Mendick. He's gone. The Bombers moved 56 yards in just 3 plays, with Dennis Mendick doing a beautiful cutback to the left, and only one man had a chance, but he couldn't get close. Kenny Plain is coming back in for Winnipeg to attempt the conversion. It is 32-6 now. The few fans who had started moving for the exits have stopped just to see what goes on. There's a lot of football left in these two teams. Plain's attempt is good. And on our scoreboard, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers have a total of 7, but the Hamilton Ticats a big 32. About 3 minutes and 50 seconds to the end of regulation time. Young Barry Roseboro, who is in at quarterback for the Blue Bombers, got off a fine pass that time. He had about 3 Hamilton players draped all over him. A youngster who is the son of the well-known Western football official, Cliff Roseboro. He did his college football at the University of North Dakota. McDougall, Ray Bobo, and Eddie Macon are the Hamilton trio as the Winnipeg Blue Bombers try the short kick. That is recovered by a Hamilton man and perhaps in the field before he went out of bounds. It looks like Harry Lampman. It is. And the Ticats will put the ball in play, 1st and 10 from their own 41-yard line. That is the second time this afternoon the short, tricky kickoff has been tried. Not with any particular measure of success, it must be noted. Falone, still quarterbacking for Hamilton, has flankers right and left. Ball lost by Jerry McDougall. The whistle had blown. John Michaels running for the Hamilton end zone, and the whistle had blown, so the big lineman doesn't get his chance for glory in picking up a loose ball and rumbling down the field for a TD. Winnipeg on the recovery takes 1st and 10 from the Hamilton 41.5-yard line. 15 yards in from the far side. Hamilton has fumbled 3 times now and lost the ball on 2 occasions. Roseboro quarterbacking for the Bombers. Hand off to Nick Miller, who drives his way down deep into the Hamilton secondary to the 33-yard line. It will be very close to a 1st down. Tommy Grant made the stop. 3-minute signal from referee Paul Dojak. 32-7 for Hamilton over Winnipeg. After the game, Larry O'Brien with special guests from both teams and the official presentation of the Grey Cup. Stay with us. Roseboro pulls back to pass, down the middle, And intended for Gilliam, he was just spun around the wrong way. Closest Ticat to him was Tony Castillo. Paul Whitley replacing John Michaels in the forward wall of the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Loose ball once again. Recovered by Vince Scott, who decides as a lineman he better have a try at it, but then thinks better of it. Ernie Pitts goes up and wraps his arms around him. Jerry James on the attack, couldn't hang on to the football, and the Ticats have taken possession on their own 34-yard line. Believe me, there will be no untoward incidents when the final gun is fired here. I know it's exaggerating to say it, but it looks as though there might be about 1 million policemen ringing the field here at Varsity Stadium, members of Toronto's finest men in blue, and they are here to preserve law and order, and we all hope that they certainly do. Cookie Gilchrist fumbles, recovered by Hamilton and lost, and then recovered once again by a member of the Ticats, looks like Tommy Grant. A minute and 59 seconds unofficially to the end of the ball game. Ticats 32, Blue Bombers 7. Blue Bombers' 7th fumble of the afternoon a moment or so ago, and they have lost the ball on 6 occasions. Draw your own conclusions on it. Gilchrist again trying the right side of the line. Pushed back by 3 or 4 men, including Roger Savoy, number 62, and big Buddy Tinsley at about 255, number 64. Cam Fraser going in. He'll boot downfield. And Latterell and Rowland will be the Bombers' deep men to receive. Fraser will kick from his 25-yard line. End over end punt. Chasing Latterell. Bounces good for the Ticats. Latterell once again. Oh, man. Little Billy Graham should be hired by a wrestling promoter after that tackle. He got Latterell down on the 32-yard line. And when Ron put his cleats into the turf and decided to dig, Graham just picked him up and slammed him down on the ground. That was a 46-yard boot by Cam Fraser. He has a 43-yard average so far this afternoon. His season average was 46 plus. Mendick flanks out this way for Winnipeg. 1 minute flag is up. Mendick on the receiving end of that forward pass is nailed at the 44.5-yard line. Man who put the tackle on him was Ronnie Howell, number 82. Less than a minute to go with the flag up. Ticats by 32-7. Mendick once again is a short flanker. Goes for a pulled back, fakes once, fires down the middle, complete to Mendick again. He gets away from the first man, laterals. And the man on the receiving end of Mendick's lateral is stopped on the Ticat 53-yard line. It is a Winnipeg first down, however. Looks like Big Stav Kanakis, and that's who it is. Well, we have the ever-present bugler in the stands below us, blowing the familiar strains of "We Want a Touchdown," and he might have brought that bugle from the west, because the Ticats have 5 of them and the Blue Bombers just 1. 32-7. Time running. A flag on the field on the play. A little lad in a green jacket got that football and is going to be permitted to keep it over on the far side. The CRU provided 24 footballs before today's game. Not too many have gone for souvenirs, and one man, believe it or not, actually threw the ball back onto the field. Holding penalty is refused. There's the signal by the referee, Paul Dojak. And we have no football. This is the delay at the moment. Well, that is known as the kiss of death in the trade. Just mentioned the fact that the CRU produced 24 footballs and we haven't lost too many, and now we can't find one. Success. And the head linesman, Taylor Patterson from Regina, finally got one. In front of the Ticats bench, Jim Trimble is being snapped by many photographers, undoubtedly wearing a very happy grin. Bombers ball, 2nd and 10 on the Ticat 54-yard line. Roseboro back again, getting lots of protection. He's trying to chase Miller out. He may be nailed. He is nailed by 4 members of the Ticats who were fighting in there to get at him. The gun has sounded, ladies and gentlemen. The 57 Grey Cup is over. And the final score is the Hamilton Ticats 32, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers 7. And this is your coast-to-coast Grey Cup football telecast.
Home 11 here at Varsity Stadium. This is Larry O'Brien welcoming you to the Grey Cup presentation. With us, the Grey Cup, and Mr. Don Downey, president of the Canadian Rugby Union, representing the Hamilton Tiger Cats, their team captain, Steve Onischuk. Ladies and gentlemen, the president of the CRU, Mr. Don Downey.
Thank you, Larry. Steve Onischuk, I want to congratulate you for your great display of today. And I know you are the captain of the Hamilton Wildcats. You put on a great show, and it gives me great, great pleasure indeed to present the Grey Cup to you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Don Downey. Steve Onischuk, you must be a very happy man.
Certainly am. Thanks very much, Mr. Downey. I'm certainly receiving this on behalf of the team because it was a great team effort today and all year. Thanks very much.
Well, Steve, just one more point. You're a school teacher. This is now your 4th year, eh, with the Tiger Cats?
No, I've just completed my 3rd year.
3rd year. And you were playing cornerbacker today.
That's right.
What did you think of those triple flankers the Winnipeg Bombers were unleashing once in a while?
Well, they had an awful lot of blockers out there. Honest, I felt like I was in a washing machine sometimes.
Well, Steve Onischuk, congratulations, receiving the Grey Cup for the first time back to Hamilton since 1953.
Thanks very much, Chris.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, of course, while the Hamilton Tiger Cat, the new Grey Cup champions, did unleash a terrific offense, we would like at this point to pay tribute to, shall we say, the unsung heroes, the defensive unit, led by their field general, Tony Cursillo. Tony, congratulations. Tony, I often meant to ask you, here you are, well, you worked the quarterback, worked the fullback. This year, of course, you stress defense. You're the #1 fellow out there. Which position would you prefer, offense or defense?
It doesn't matter, Larry. As long as I get a chance to get used to what I'm playing. I'm used to playing defense now, and I think I can help the team right there. So I'd rather play defense. Bernie's doing a good job on offense, so there's no sense in switching us around.
Tony, you certainly did a wonderful job of calling plays today. Another thing that you did succeed in doing, among other things, is putting that rush on that great Winnipeg quarterback, Kenny Payne.
Yes, we didn't rush him too much. He's more of a running quarterback, so we weren't too much afraid of his passing. We were more afraid of his running.
You seem to have their plays very well taped, Tony.
That was because I watched the game over TV last night.
Is
I
that
stayed
right?
up and watched that game last night, and I think I'm glad I watched it now because I picked up a lot
And
of
that
tips.
really helped you.
Right, it
Well,
did.
Tony Cursillo, you did a wonderful job as defensive field general for the new Grey Cup champion, Hamilton Tiger
Okay,
Cats.
thank you very much.
Congratulations, Tony. And now, ladies and gentlemen, from the defensive phase over to the offensive phase. The quarterback of the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Going, Bernie. Only one thing. Edmonton there. The last time you were quarterbacking was with the Eskimos back in 1954 right here at Varsity Stadium.
That's right, Larry. It was. I was a little disappointed today, but Winnipeg gave us a great battle all day.
So you certainly called a great game out there. Gee, I like your faking out there. I like your ball handling. Among other things, you seem to unsettle that Winnipeg defense so considerably.
Well, we worked on it all week as to try to mix them up so that they would be confused quite a bit. And I think towards the end of the ball game they were guessing and guessing wrong quite a bit.
You're running those trap plays right up that middle very effectively, too. You're calling a lot of running plays, as per usual, with your great Jerry McDougall and Cookie Gilchrist. Now, as to your passing phase, were you satisfied with that, too, Bernie?
No, I wasn't satisfied today. We dropped a few passes, and also my knuckleball wasn't breaking in there just right. But anyway, we won the ball game by a good margin. I think the boys put out a great effort. And those two power backs, we got it terrific.
Well, it's been 2 great Saturdays in a row for you. In Hamilton last Saturday over the Alouettes, the beginning of the Big Four Championship, followed 1 week later by a Grey Cup victory here over the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Congratulations to the field general, their top quarterback, Bernie Filoni.
Thanks, Larry.
All the best to you, sir. And now let's see who we have here in room 11 here at Varsity Stadium. We see now, well, a very great halfback, the gentleman who piled up the most yardage in the Big Four this season, from the Tiger Cats, number 95, Jerry McDougall. Hey there, Jerry. How you doing? Jerry, I think we should acquaint some of our Western fans with the fact that it was discovered by Hamilton, the fact that you are a Canadian.
That's
Do you
right.
mind telling us the story on that?
Well, actually, I knew I was Canadian before I came up here to Canada, and I told him back about it, but he didn't know the procedure or the ruling on it, you see. Then this Boyd Carter situation came out, and then all automatically Jake Goddard got a hold of some high officials, and I was a Canadian.
Well, that's certainly great. After a very impressive record at UCLA, and with your great background, you've been a spark plug in this Hamilton's great year. Among other things, Jerry, what I'd like to ask you, this was your first look, of course, in the official play against the West. How did the West line look against your Eastern competition up front?
They're very rough, but not as good. They're very rough playing, but not as good as the East. I mean, Montreal's line is very tough.
It is, eh?
Yes.
And what about your blocking today, Jerry? Did you get enough of
Oh, more than enough. Those guys are really blocking real good.
Mind if I ask you a personal question after watching you all season, Jerry? I noticed that you prefer your going off tackle more than anything. You're an interior runner more than a wide open runner?
Well, actually, they were playing the outsides very tough, you see. And so the inside was open all day.
Yeah. Well, you did a wonderful job, Jerry, and so did the rest of your backfielders, and piling up some terrific yardage here this afternoon at the 1957 Grey Cup game. Congratulations, Jerry McDougall.
Thank you, Mr. O'Brien.
And now we see, among other people we have with us, let's see now. We have Kenny Plain from the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. A little hard to see here, ladies and gentlemen, in the dressing room of Varsity Stadium with these intense lights. Kenny Plain, great admiration among the Eastern fans for you, sir. Now here's a cool, well-collected quarterback, one of the coolest that we've seen here ever played, 21 years of age. Ken, 1957 got off to a great start for you. You quarterbacked the Iowa team in the Rose Bowl. Now, at almost the conclusion of 1957, you're playing in Canada's great national spectacle. Which sport gave you the bigger thrill? Professional with Winnipeg today, or your Rose Bowl debut with Iowa?
Well, they were both a very big thrill. I think I'd have to say the Rose Bowl is probably a bigger thrill coming first. I think anything that happens first probably is a little bigger thrill, sticks with you a little longer. But certainly this Grey Cup was a tremendous spectacle, and I feel very honored to have the opportunity to play in it, and I think it's really tremendous.
Well, we admired your terrific running, especially your rollout passes. They're most effective and certainly sensational to watch. Only one thing, Ken, I thought you were quite seriously injured there for a while.
Well, I don't believe so. It's pretty hard to tell. I got hit from the side and hurt the knee a little, but it's one of those things you never know. It was all right.
You seem to prefer a rollout pass than the other one of just sinking back into your pocket, Ken. Is that correct?
You might say that. I think the offense we used in college, we got used to the rollout patterns. We used that type of patterns also. When we came up here, we had the same type of thing, and I like the rollout and pass. It gives you the option of running or passing. It kind of keeps you from getting over the barrel.
I see. Kenny, regarding your opposition today as compared to your opposition out west, how does Hamilton compare?
I think Hamilton has a very fine football club. I think they would give anybody in our conference a good, hard football game. I'd like to offer my congratulations to them. I thought they played a very fine game today and deserved the Grey Cup. They just wanted it more than we did, I guess.
Well, Kenny Plain, you deserve congratulations, too, leading your great Winnipeg team onto a Western Conference title. You certainly impressed us greatly here this afternoon. This is your first year in Canada, and we want to wish you the very best of luck and hope to see you back here again.
I hope so, too. Thank you very much.
And now from quarterback Kenny Plain, we have with us, well, another great ball player, ladies and gentlemen, recently named the Canadian of the Year, Jerry James. Jerry, nice to see you again.
Thanks very much.
Jerry, did it take you a little time this year to get back in shape regarding your legs after being out of football for 1 year?
Well, we had the two-a-day practices out in Winnipeg in July, and that helped me get my timing and everything straightened around that I had lost the previous year.
Yeah. You were injured again today, Jerry?
Well, I don't want to sound making excuses or anything, but I did break my hand. Or
I didn't know it was
knuckle,
broken.
Or I don't know what it is, but I thought Hamilton played a very fine ball game, and when we played against them in '53, they played exactly the same way as they did then.
They did, eh?
Yeah.
Jerry, it's been a big year for you. You established 2 records out in the Western Conference this year. You compiled a record-breaking 131 points, I think, as well as 19 touchdowns. That's quite a comeback in view of the fact that you're out of hockey for 1 year, especially in those playoffs against Edmonton. Do you feel that maybe the team psychologically played so many games out there, let's see, 5 games in 13 days or something? Were you boys that tired today, Jerry, do you figure?
Not tired especially, but a little crocked up.
Mm-hmm.
We used quite a few needles in our dressing room before the game. We used 3 balls of Novocaine just to get the boys out there. And I don't want to make any excuses, as I said before, but
that's right.
But it was a.
Well, we heard a lot of reports
ball game.
about your injuries, Jerry, especially in that Western final. Congratulations to you for your great year, 2 records this year, and of course of leading your great attack to another Western championship. Congratulations, Jerry James.
Thank you very much.
Brian, watch yourself now, boy. And now, ladies and gentlemen, let's see, we have over here the coach of the new Canadian champions, Jim Trimble.
Larry,
Jim, congratulations. Gee, you must be proud of those boys.
Very, very proud, Larry. I thought they did a really excellent job.
I don't want to say anything, Jim Trimble, but didn't you predict just a few days ago that the winning team would end up with something like 30 points?
I thought it'd be about 31-12, 31-14. I thought we'd beat them about 4 touchdowns to 2.
One thing I admired about you today, I shouldn't say admired, I should say amazed. You had a 13-point lead, racked up pretty early in the ball game, Jim, but you didn't play it close to the vest. You still played a wide-open game. Were you taking a bit of a chance there?
Well, I don't think so. I think that's the type of football that's necessary in the Grey Cup game, Larry. This Winnipeg team, we didn't feel like 13 points was nearly enough. They're a great ball club, and certainly ought to be congratulated on their fine play.
Well, they certainly did put up a very fine exhibition. I noticed, Jim, regarding your overall strategy today, you succeeded in inserting more pass plays than you have been during the current season, along with your strong running attack.
Yes, we felt all along that we had capabilities of throwing. The fact that we didn't was because we felt like we had better runners, and we feel like we hurt people more, and that was pretty evident in the second half today. We ground them out and ran over them. Then
the strategy certainly paid off. Did I hear you say last night or this morning the fact that you're taking off right after the game to try and land talent for 1958 already?
Well, you always have to keep busy. We think we have fine talent now, but we'll be looking. We'll be looking.
Jim Trimble, thank you very much for joining us, and
Larry.
congratulations once again on winning the Grey Cup and bringing the Grey Cup back to Hamilton.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, the stars, of course, as well, of the new Canadian champion Hamilton Tiger Cats, the president of the CRU for joining us here in the dressing room. And this is Larry O'Brien wrapping it up here in the dressing room at Varsity Stadium.
New cars, old cars. Plain cars, bold cars. High compression, low compression. Uphill, down as well. They all excel with Shell. 2 great gasolines, the gasoline team that satisfies the octane needs of every make of car. For high compression cars, Super Shell in the white pump. For other cars, Shell gasoline. Whichever of these 2 high octane gasolines your car requires, you can be sure it will meet the octane needs of every driving situation. And there's economy too. You get better mileage from the combustion energy in these 2 great gasolines. And because they both contain TCP additive, you get continued peak performance. So stop at the sign of Shell for the team that satisfies the octane needs of every car. Super Shell in the white pump or Shell gasoline, both with TCP.
Goodyear, the greatest name in rubber, and Goodyear dealers from coast to coast. and the Shell Oil Company of Canada Limited and your neighborhood Shell dealers have brought you this Grey Cup Football Game of the Year.